Ich gehöre längst nicht mehr zur Welt der Sterblichen. Ich fürchte hier nichts und niemanden. Willst du wissen, wer ich bin? Ich bin Vegeta!
Okay, once again, and yes, you saw the title of the video. Yes, I dare ask the question. Yes, I dare. Out of all things, I gotta mentally process this. Yes, out of all things, the one thing that most fans are hiding from Ippo fear. What if Ippo's returning is a double-edged sword? What if Ippo is coming back and giving people the business? It's not like we think it is. Now, don't get me wrong here. I want to see Ippo return just as mad as everybody else. But one of those things is, if we get our hopes that high up to believe that Ippo will return and just one-shot a guy here, one-shot a guy over there, you're going to hit somebody with a new Dimchur right off the bat, I don't think that would happen. Now, somebody say, oh, you don't think that would happen? How do you think you would turn out? Why do you believe that Ippo could lose his return match? Well, there's one simple thing. Ever since Ippo has been boxing, the whole idea of being catched by the points or worrying about the points has not been brought up since the likes of Vorg, has not been brought up since the likes of like Miata going against Jimmy Fista. It has not been brought up since the likes of Kobashi during the Wiki tournament. The whole thing with me is, when I say Ippo could lose his return match, I do not refer to I don't see it as, oh, Ippo will get knocked out cold again like against Antonio. No, I'm talking about Ippo would lose purely because of the points and favoritism and nothing else. It'd be one of those things, let's like in real life boxing, and sure, the person have got the win, but somebody considered to be a robbery. That Ippo should have won the fight. Ippo should have got the lead. And even the fighter itself, who wins against Ippo because of the judges, could also be like, yeah, I didn't win this match, and I'm not going to accept this. And it's just be one of those things where it's like, some people say, oh, it ruined the story, or it's just like, it's been a while since we had Ippo, there'd be no reason to do it. In my opinion, it would switch everything up, because we keep on expecting Ippo, which has high hopes to return, and he'll come back to the glory days, and everybody want to see Ippo go back to when he fought Kurosawa, which I don't want to see. Why? Because besides from the novelty that Ippo, we get to see how the opponents of Ippo finally view Ippo as like a monster and see how destructive he could really be. Besides from that, it just the fight wasn't amazing or anything, and it pushed Ippo to the limits in my opinion, and it led to the main reason why Ippo ended up with accumulate damage, which is each fight of Ippo pushed Ippo to the limits. There is no games, there are no sidelines, there is no an easy fight for Ippo. Every fight or opponent he faced had at least give him a swollen eye or busted up his lip. It's just one of those things which I like about Ippo. I like the fact that Ippo get pushed to the limits. I like the fact that Ippo get challenged. It's just like, if he's not getting challenged, then like what's the point? Because some people might want to see their fighter just, oh, I want to see them just constantly win. I don't care who they win against. I don't care if they're just beating up on trash cans. I just want to win. I'm not really like a real life boxing guy. I'm not too much of an expert. I keep up with some of the things, but I'm not going to close up an expert. But when it first to Ippo, just, oh, how could such an ordeal? How could such a crime? How could such a robbery happen? Because we all know these robberies are where we all know that Miata was robbed against Jimmy Fista in the first, not Jimmy Fista, against that other Thai boxer. He should have won, and they gave it to the Thailand boxer because of the favoritism. But some might say, if I ask a question, then there's gotta be like a top tier guy, right? There's gotta be the top 8 or somebody like that. No, if Ippo was to return, nobody would want to fight Ippo more than 2 people. Number 1 is Itagaki, and 2 is Miata. Not Miata, is a May, or AK I like to call him Ayami. Not Hayami, but Ayami. Gotta emphasize that I. I don't know why I call him that, but I just did. Somebody said, what about Miata? The thing is about Miata is, since Ippo has been in the ring for at least a year, maybe a year and 6 months, there is no way Ippo can come out of retirement and go straight into a Miata fight. And also another thing, some people be like, oh, at least he'll be able to use the Dimchur if he loses this fight. No, I don't think Ippo should use the Dimchur right off the bat, and that's purely because until he can learn the lesson of quite simply not focusing 100% on the Dimchur, I don't want to see him use the Dimchur. I'm sorry. It is hard enough for me even to watch that Antonio Guevara fight by itself. Like, at first, I find it hard to watch Ippo go against Gonzalez. I don't know what it is, but there's certain things just like I find it hard just to watch it. All right, just knowing the fact that Ippo will get KO'd or something, I find it hard to watch. All right, it kind of gets to me. But the whole thing about the Antonio fight was just seeing him being so desperate to do the Dempsey, and just like seeing the fact that this entire time, I don't care what anybody says, the entire time Ippo could have beat Guevara, and what he chose to do the Dempsey. If he would have just kept to the basic tactics, he would have beat Guevara. But it is what it is. I don't want to personally see the Dempsey, but maybe he does. I don't think a man can survive the Dempsey. He's not on Ippo's level. But for a return fight, I do believe that May, in his current condition, will give Ippo a good fight, and he'll mainly lose that fight, but potentially win because of favoritism and Ippo get robbed. And it'll also give Ippo some experience. It is best not to leave it up to the ref to decide how the fight's going to turn out. And sure, Ippo been getting KOs before. He's a KO specialist. He's a knockout artist. But just be one of those things where, just like with Sendo, with them throwing bugs and stuff on his food, it'd be another lesson for Ippo. And it's just sometimes doing the best. Sometimes doing the best you can is just not good enough. It's one of those things where just like, you know how Kimura or Yoki would constantly tell Ippo just, like with Takamura, or just like, with Ippo constantly tell him, do your best, and Takamura just like tell him to do that when the A-class tourney was coming up. It's just like, what is that going to do to them? They always hear that. They hear that from everybody. And for Ippo to personally learn that he tried his best and it was not good enough, he tried his best, he should have won, but the judges said otherwise, it would mold Ippo to a more stronger fighter, in my opinion. So I didn't like any time like he go to, like, to a different country or anything like that. He'd be more used to it, he'd have experience with it, and it wouldn't be so surprising when he gets robbed. Or he wouldn't want to leave it to the judges. I don't think Ippo returned as like an outright monster. I personally don't believe that, because I don't think Ippo has it in him. It'd be one of those things where you gotta coach it out of Ippo. Now he'd be ambitious, he'd get them crazy eyes like he's Teihei or Gonzalez or Sendo in the recent year, but he won't be like that mad Ippo who smacked up Teihei and deformed him, or that mad Ippo that one-shotted Kojima in the first round. Yeah, I think it was like Hitasato Kojima, yeah. It won't be like that. But one of those things that's like when Ippo wants to get the job done, he will knock you out. He will hit you full force. Cause the coach and everybody else is like Ippo don't hit people with full force. It'd be quite interesting to see Ippo just. I mean, it'd be add some more extra because the character development to him. And sure, I want Ippo to come back and win just like anybody else. I want that, but it's just we just gotta face reality, the fact that there could be a chance that Ippo will return, give us a great, excellent fight that will go to the scorecards, and he would lose. If somebody say, why would the judges choose out of anybody else? Because the person I'm viewing in my head is May, because May really wanted to fight Ippo. And like Itagaki, he wanted to be a student, May wanted to knock Ippo out while smiling in his face at the same time. He see it more as a victory than anything else. It would be excellent for May to finally fight his inspiration. But somebody said, what about Itagaki? Itagaki might leave and he might not. It depends. It truly depends on how May is. It really does, in my opinion. It depends. It depends how Itagaki is. Cause Itagaki could fight Ippo and leave the gym, pretty much, in my opinion, anytime he wants. Pretty much. There is nothing stopping Itagaki to fight from fighting Ippo besides not at the same gym. And Itagaki wants it. He honestly wants to fight Ippo. So it's not like, it'd be a believable for Itagaki they want to fight Ippo, but it's one of those things where it's possible. The better was saying, why would the judges give it towards May instead of Ippo, since Ippo had all this hype? Ippo was the face of the featherweight class in Japan. He was everything. He was going to Miyata. He fought on the world stage. He fought the #2 guy in the world. The thing is, not only has Ippo been on the ring for a year, it goes back to what the coach told Ippo about Vorg, where just like, don't think the fans won't turn on you too. Now I don't think Ippo want to be brash, outspoken like Takamori is, but having Ippo go through this second-hand experience, what it'd be like for the other guy as a Kojima, as somebody else who has to rework their way back up again from a massive loss. It would be great experience for Ippo, in my personal opinion. It really would. It'd be an excellent experience. Could be one of those things, just like with boxing. It's just you gotta go through eventually. If you're not some type of 5-star narcotics, if you're not dropping everybody in that grandmother, then it's just like you gotta face the real possibility that eventually your own fans, your own country, your own supposed fans that supported you the most will throw you on the bus. And having Tokyo itself with a May rob Ippo like that, the character development for Ippo, he would not turn into a monster like Takamura or Kimura or like everybody else in the gym would. Somebody say, oh, why? Because that's not in Ippo's nature. Ippo will get mad and drop somebody after he returns, but not let it be one of those things where it's just like he will throw away his boxing teaching while doing it. He will punish you. Ippo is a punisher, in my opinion. That's the way I see him. That's the way I see it personally. Because it's one of those things where it's just like, it's not in Ippo's nature to go out like he's Takamura and just want to knock out and one-shot somebody. Instead of doing that, he will hit you with multiple liver blows. He will bust your face up. I don't think Ippo has ever given anybody a swollen eye, or has Ippo scratched somebody, cause somebody to, he never gave somebody a cut either. Not that I recall it. I don't think he ever gave somebody a cut either. But it'd be one of those things where just like, there are certain key things in Ippo's development that Ippo must go through. Ippo must feel the other side of his opponents. He must not have the Japanese crowd on him. He must be robbed by the judges. It'd be an excellent and great learning experience for Ippo. It'd be one of those things the coach, as excited as the coach would be about Ippo returning, as excited as Kimura and the rest of the gym would be excited to see Ippo back. It's just like, it'd be one of those things where just like, you did your best, kid, but there's still another level to go. It's just like the Demchiro. Yes, it did. I don't think Ippo was training with the all-new Demchiro, which the wikis calling the diagonal Demchiro, but I like the all-new Demchiro better as a title. The whole thing is, Ippo could never find his range. You could say that's because of accumulated damage. You could say it's because of whatever you want to say it was. Ippo could never find the range for it. He never could. It's unknown to me why he never could find a range for it, but he just never did. In sparring, he couldn't find a range for it. Like anything he did, he could not find a range for it. And him getting beaten up and punched by Antonio just made it worse. Not to affect the accumulated damage on top of that. Because I don't think he was punch drunk, and most of the people don't think Ippo was punch drunk either. So, Ippo, one of the things I don't know what you guys think. As I want to be mad, I really wouldn't, because it would do a lot for Ippo. It really would. And it really would develop his character. It really would, because having Ippo face against this stuff would be amazing. And that's the thing, I don't think Ippo wants the Japanese championship back. It would be purely just to satisfy the fight. Who will fight Ippo in a return match? It's just Ippo has a fault. It's just a long time. It's just like, who's gonna really put bank? Oh, Ippo was great back then, but how is he now? The fans will turn on Ippo, not to just outright dog him out and just say he's garbage or something. It will be one of those things where it's just like they will stop believing in Ippo. He would not have fan support this time around. And it really would develop him, in my opinion. Sure, the fans would be mad, the fans would not like it, but I would personally enjoy it. Because it's one of those things that Ippo has to learn a lesson now before he get hurt later. It's been one of those things, especially as a coach, as a trainer, what Ippo's learning now. Ippo is now getting the side of how it feels to be a corner man. Now it's time for Ippo to see how his opponents has felt in the last few years. How did someone more Ruhei feel? How did that guy Takei kept hitting with that uppercut while getting tight into Ippo's stomach? How did he feel with him trying to come back and get his career ended or shortened by somebody else? What about he get this feel how Hayami feel? The prodigy. The one who have won a 11 fight losing streak. You can even have Hayami inside ringside or be in the undercard for Ippo. Because it really is sad what happened to Hayami. It really is. And it's a tragedy more than anything else. But it's just having Ippo gain this further experience. The next fight after that will be monstrous. I don't care what anybody says. That'll be the most destructive version of Ippo we've ever seen. Because that's the thing. The next time Ippo used the Demchiro, it would not be one of those things where, oh, he's just going to use the Demchiro, just use the Demchiro. him and the coach will eventually link up together. And a lot of people, I did feel like a few years ago, people complained, oh, Ippo take too much. He wants too much help from the coach. It'd be one of those things where they'd be able to sync up by talking more. It wouldn't be perfect. You still have the whole, the kid and the old veteran who used to be a boxer coach dynamic. You would still have that, but it'd be Ippo bring it. It'd be like pretty much like this. You will have the return of the Ippo fought Gonzalez. I don't care what anybody says or how much weaker Ippo was as a fighter, but when it comes to his mentality, the fact that for the first time in his career, he told Coach Korigama that should I end it now? It's something that he's never said before. Every other time Coach Korigama, he's just like, well, what do I do now? What do I do? The fact that he went by himself to tell Coach Korigama, I am ready to end it right here, right now. Should I end it? Should I end Gonzalez now? When else have you ever seen Ippo with that much confidence? When? This is why, in my opinion, this is his best fight, even though he lost. At least Ippo was trying. At least Ippo was going all out. Unlike Antonio Guevara at the park, because the lightning just shook my entire house. But yeah, I'd like to know what you guys think. Do you believe that Ippo would win his return fight? Do you think Ippo should lose his return fight? I personally think he should lose it. And it would build his character 10 times more than what we've seen it before. Ippo needs to evolve a little bit further than what he's been. Because to a certain degree, he has been. That's the thing. I don't want to turn Ippo into a monster. I don't want to be one of those people who believe that Ippo, oh, he's just too nice. I like Ippo the way he is, but a perfect example is like Antonio. Antonio had the ruthless ambition. No matter how nice Antonio was, he was a monster to a certain degree because he had that ambition. No matter how many times Ippo was pounding his face in a hamburger, he had that ambition that would not be stopped. Unlike Ippo, he was just like, yeah, baby, I'm gonna do it now. Let me do it later. He had the ambition. Like one person put out in the Reddit, you see them circle eyes. I believe there's the next level of them eyes where it shows the fighting spirit, where the eyes just show up green in the anime. That's the actual next level. That's blinding, overwhelming ambition. And seeing that Ippo would be 10 times better than just seeing a mad Ippo. It's a guy can want to keep on seeing it, but Billy, it's just the coach that at the Ippo, you'll risk your life more than anything else. You're risking your life. Cause like, there's a reason. Like put it like this. Why is Ippo based off of Mike Tyson, but he's not one-hit KOing somebody? Mike Tyson had the intimidation. Also, he was partially a madman. He wanted to take your head right off your shoulders. If you were to put Ippo in that state, in the featherweight class, and he's already that mad, he will kill somebody. Like the guy in sparring who was getting hit with the all-new Dempsey. He said, are you trying to kill somebody with that thing? Like seriously, you're hitting people uppercuts left and right, and while backing them up in the corner. There is no escape for them. There is absolutely nothing. So I don't have any more words. Wow, great! I'm the glitch champ. I'm the glitch king. I'm the glitch king now. I want to know what you guys think. Do you think Ippo loses return match? Do you think it would be excellent growth for Ippo to lose his return match and learn how boxing is not as clean as he thought it was? No, we don't need the the real life boxing is corrupt. We need lots of corruption, because you know we need lots of corruption. No. Do you think eventually we need to see a drugged up fighter? I'll give you that. Having a guy on steroids, that would be something. And somehow he's been able to evade Vodotexin. But I don't want to be a whole series with some type of critique or satire about boxing and this corruption and boxing this and that, and these dudes are all juiced up, man, and they too big and they not like they used to be back in my day. No. I would like to bring it up and quick mention it. The way George has been doing it every once in a while. But yeah, it's been your Booming Shockwave King. I'd like to hear your guys' thoughts about if well, I'm about to kill my own. This is why I can't be in the military. I end up killing my own men. What do you guys think about Ippo losing for his comeback fight? How much growth you would gain for it? And do you think it's a good idea, or do you think it's a terrible, foolish idea that shouldn't happen? We just should get Ippo the same way he was when he went against Gonzalez, but a full-powered, non-accumulated damage Ippo. Like, comment, and subscribe, which is unusual. Usually the depression be talking, but and it'd be Booming Shockwave King, and Peace.